So I'm working, right, at the state fair. Now, I'm working with this product. I am selling, promoting, and demonstrating this product called TripleRp. Google it if you're unfamiliar. It's a slingshot helicopter with a little LED light bulb on it. You fire it into the air. People see it from at least a half-mile away. Works even better at night. It's awesome. And they're pretty inexpensive. So, I have two bosses. They're a team. Therefore, the bottom of the totem poles are mine. Okay, so back the fuck up. So here's what's going on. Our initial plan for the first night of the fair, it's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We have this open space, this great open space right around the corner from our tent, our section. We're going to wait till it begins to get dark. We'll fire the flare copters up into the sky. We'll light it up. People will come from far and near on the fairgrounds. They will look up. They will see it. They will be like, that is awesome. Where can I get one? Where did you get one? And from there, we direct them over to our section, which is visibly right around the corner, very short walk, okay? Hopefully we make money, hopefully we do well, hopefully we have fun. Now, not even the first hour. We're not even through the first hour on the first night of the fair. This gentleman approaches me from the fair board. I suppose he thought I was in charge because I had the proper dress code on. And he was cool. He was nice, you know. We could let him live. He runs up on me. He's like, yeah, I can't allow you to do this here. You're going to have to do this right in front of your tent, right in front of your section, even though my boss has got permission and authorization from the woman that oversees the fair board to be able to do this here in this area. I guess he didn't get that memo at all. So we moved. I mean, it's a little different. Not as much room to work with. You know, we have neighboring vendors on each side. We got a gigantic Ferris wheel right across from us because we're in the kiddie ride section. But, you know, more potential for, you know, higher foot traffic. So when we begin to fire them things up in the sky, and it being we're coming off the weekend, you know, it might be a little more. It was more difficult to, you know, retrieve the flare copters because these things fly everywhere, especially when there's a bit of a breeze. Okay, so let's move on to the second hour of the first night. We're still on the first night. So I'm firing up the flare copters in our designated area where we were instructed that we can play with our product by the fair board. This gentleman comes up on me. He must have thought I was in charge too. He was like, "Excuse me." I said, "Yes." He's like, "I own this tent right here." Our neighbor's to the left. He was like, "I own this tent right here. Can you not fire your flares into my tent?" He wasn't rude with me, but I got a bad vibe from this guy, and I'm putting one and one together in my head while he's talking. I'm like, you know what? This guy's an asshole. You're either really ignorant or you're trying to provoke me. Why would I deliberately do that? I'm not going to deliberately do that. I told my boss about it afterwards, and he said the same thing. I was like, if it happens, it happens. What can we do? This is where the fair said that we can do this. So anyway, we've been doing great the last few days. I mean, it's awesome, you know, especially at night. You know, we've had the crowds, the weekend crowds. People come, they congregate in front of our area. They check out the light show. It's awesome. All right, first hour tonight, working. You know, so it really wasn't even that long. Not even, I think, within 30 minutes of us of me beginning work, because I come in the second half of the day. I see the same gentleman from the fair board that came up on me on the first day. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, the last time I saw you, you told us that we couldn't do something. So I'm pretty sure that you're about to run that play again and tell us that we can't do something. So he calls my boss to the side. And then the owner of the tent to our left, he magically appears. I don't know who rubbed his genie's lamp. I don't know where the fuck he came from. And then his staff, because he has two staff members at that tent. And you know, like when someone's at work and they're like, "Hey man, yeah, you know, come over here, man. Let me talk to you for a minute real quick." You know, one of those, and it turns out to be a minute or two, maybe max. This was like a minute or 10 max that they hit my boss with. Like, they were over there powwowing for a minute. No chairs, just talk. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit about? So my boss comes back, and he's like, okay, yeah, well, we can't do this here, the fair said, but we can move back to initially where we were, the original open space around the corner from us. And that's fine, except that's not necessarily how we wanted to regain that space. Let me tell you about our neighbors right here. since they've been telling so many people about us, in particular the Fair Board. His tent is toys. No, not shit that you take your kids to Toys R Us for. You better not do that in your right mind. No, fair toys. You know, crap that you buy a kid because you're at the fair and they really want it maybe, and you just want them to shut up about the damn toy. Okay, here. He'll throw it out within a year, or it'll break, if it didn't break. And then this character has the gall within the inventory of his wide assortment of fair toys in his tent. This motherfucker has the gall to have knockoffs of our Flarecopter product. Wow. And I saw them. They're terrible. They're bad. Yo, they hustling people over there. Okay, so like I said, we had to move again. Alrighty, but here's where the problem comes into play. Not only when we moved, like I said, this motherfucker has knockoffs, okay, of our product. They're trying to undercut us to push off these knockoffs on people. Like, people would, because me and my boss, one of my other boss, you know, we'd be firing the copters up into the sky. People would see it, you know, and we would direct them to our tent. When we do that, because their tent comes before ours, when you're cutting that corner, they would intercept them and be like, oh wait, yeah, that's us. We got that. To try to make sales, because like I said, the only reason anybody's complaining to anyone about anything as a vendor is if there's a serious problem, or they feel, no, the serious problem would be, this is the one and only serious problem. They're not making money. Someone is doing something that is costing them money. That is the problem. That is the problem at a state fair for a vendor. I'm not making money. I'm not happy with the business that I'm doing right now. And here's why. His excuse is us. I forgot to mention something, though, about this guy. Now, I don't know his name because it doesn't matter what his name was. But I did realize something. This motherfucker, he's the owner of the fair toy tent. This motherfucker has 3 tents. 3 tents strategically placed throughout the midway section of the fairground. I'm sure he has knockoffs of our product in each and every one of these tents that he owns. What else did I forget to mention about this Rudy Poo? Oh yeah, because he just wouldn't shut up about it from time to time. Oh yeah, poor my bosses, poor them. This guy's a devout Christian, a proud son of God. Praise him. Praise God. It's fantastic. Absolutely. The Lord's going to save you, son. I mean, that's fantastic. You know, don't get me wrong. I mean, the Bible's like the best book I've ever read. I mean, have you read the Bible? The stories? Did you read about the shit that they were doing in the Old Testament? That's beside the point. You know what? That reminds me of a story. You've got time for another story. Sit down, sit down, sit down now. You've got time for another story because it's a good story, okay? But you got to think about it. Look. No, I'm not in my original Loser Nation studio, what used to be the Loser Nation studio. Take a look. Where do you think I'm at? I'm at a hotel. What do hotels have? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm opening this now. A lot of y'all are really uptight. Y'all just need to chill out. You know there's nothing, if you're familiar with this book, you know there's nothing but good stories in here. You know, you're probably all on that holier than thou shit. Oh, he's cursing and he's thumbing through the Bible. Chill out. Y'all need Jesus. I need Jesus. I got the... you got it. That's what you get. I'm going to read you one story, okay? Not to worry. I'm a fast reader. It's a good story, too. I think they're all good stories. Let me see. All right. Well, actually, you're right. I'm going to read you a part of a story, okay? It's a good part, though, all right? Pay attention, okay? And I quote. And the second, like it, is this. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. I mean, I agree. Love thy neighbor, right? Well, actually, love thy neighbor is the King James version, if you're being a stickler. But love thy neighbor. Our neighbor, the fair toy owner. Since he's such a son of God, how is bitching to the fair board about us because we're doing great business and you're not quite satisfied with the business that you're doing? How exactly is that loving thy neighbor or loving your neighbor? I guess he skimmed over that part. Yeah, and after we did the move, after the fair board guy, after the meeting that my boss had to sit through with the fair board guy and this asshole to our left, like my boss did something wrong. There was one word that popped into mind, and I spoke to my other boss. She said the same thing before we shut down for the night, and then when we were all riding home together after the fair, my boss that was in the meeting, he also said the same thing. The first word that popped in my head: greed. Oh, wait a minute, whoa. Isn't greed one of the 7 deadly sins? Bible belt beater boy, since he knows the Bible like the back of his hand and all that, and he's throwing out all types of quotes, and he's such a devout Christian, wouldn't he have read that in the good book? No, maybe he skimmed over that part too. I don't know. I'm not there when he reads. I don't attend his Bible study class. What the fuck do I look like? But greed was the first thing that popped into my head. You have 3 tents. Not to mention, one of your tents is located right next to us. We have 1 tent, 1 product. You just happen to be carrying a knockoff of our product. See, now it would be different. See, this is where I got a little peeved. It would be different since he's a complaining Christian or something. I don't know the exact name of his group, but it would be different if, like, let's reverse the roles real quick. Ride with me. It would be different if we had 1 tent with a variety of stuff, including knockoffs of his 1 product, whatever that product may be, right? And we decided, since we like that money, we came up with a way to push this product off. Maybe we had way too many. We had a lot in our inventory, way more than we originally intended, way more than we would be comfortable with taking back with us after the end of the fair, because we got a week left of this shit. Or maybe we're giving them away for free or just really cheap. I could understand that. I could understand him coming to us and be like, hey, can you like chill so I can make some money too? It's happened to me before. It happens, but that's not the case. That's not the case at all. This guy's bitching because you have 3 tents, yet you have a neighboring tent next to one of yours that's actually doing really well, and you're not satisfied with your business. Isn't that in the Bible too? I don't know. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head where that's at now, but what the fuck do you have to be unsatisfied about? You have 3 tents. You have 3 times the opportunities that we have to generate sales and make money, and you're bitching to the fair board in your spare time. You know what? I've had about enough of this, so that's the end of the motherfucking story, but I'm going to say one more thing to you. You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm not going to say anything else to you. I'm just going to fucking pray for this guy. God, please, get your boy